all dominant point guard only go to the foul line 6 damn times. I don't know what the situation is, if they just don't see the calls or they're just ignoring the calls. At the end of the day, there is a systematic issue wrong with the WNBA, the current state of their referees, and Caitlin Clark. Now, Rebecca Lobo and Ryan Ruocco was on the air last night speaking about this game, and I'm here to tell you they was super duper mad, bruh.
The refereeing standards surrounding Caitlin Clark have become a focal point of league-wide debate, drawing criticism from media personalities, analysts, and basketball enthusiasts. Concerns about inconsistent whistle patterns have reached unprecedented levels of public scrutiny. Statistical analysis shows Clark receiving merely 6 free throw opportunities during her previous 4 appearances. Such numbers appear remarkably insufficient for a player who regularly penetrates defensive structures and handles primary offensive responsibilities. This pattern suggests potential oversight in foul recognition or systematic inconsistencies in rule enforcement.
And I'm here to tell you, they was super duper mad, bruh. Let's pull it up right now. Articles has come out about Rebecca Lobo unloading on the WNBA referees, literally counting the fouls out on TV. That's a foul, that's a foul, that's a foul. Guys, this thing is getting spooky, and I'm here to tell you, it's gonna keep getting spooky, man, until Kathy do something, bro. I don't know. At this point, maybe NBA referees need to just ref Caitlin game.
The contest against Dallas Wings highlighted these officiating discrepancies most prominently. Television commentators Rebecca Lobo and Ryan Ruocco provided real-time analyses identifying numerous uncalled infractions. Their broadcast commentary included detailed observations of missed violations throughout the game. Live television coverage captured multiple sequences where Clark encountered physical resistance, typically resulting in whistles. Lobo documented several infractions within individual possessions, noting grabbing motions, restrictive holds, and defensive tactics appearing to violate established regulations. The commentary team displayed obvious disappointment as these incidents occurred without referee intervention.
You need to just ref Caitlin games. You know, no disrespect to nobody else, but hell, that's the only one everybody looking at anyways. They need to just do Caitlin games, bro, because at this point, the way that they're missing these calls are just, it's starting to change the outcome of the game, and it's starting to look very bad, bro. I mean, very, very, very bad. And I don't know, bro. I don't know. Something has to be done. Let's pull up this article right now, dog. Let me get it pulled up. So
these persistent problems have generated proposals for alternative solutions. Basketball observers have suggested implementing NBA officiating crews for Clark's contest to ensure consistent rule application. This recommendation reflects concerns that current enforcement standards compromise competitive fairness and game outcomes. Social media platforms have amplified these concerns through widespread documentation. Basketball experts have distributed visual proof of questionable decisions, including dangerous defensive approaches and clear contact violations. These materials have circulated extensively, intensifying criticism of existing officiating protocols.
So it goes on to say Rebecca Lobo chides WNBA referees refusing to call fouls on Caitlin Clark. All of those fouls. Yes, bro, there was a lot. There was a lot. A new chapter has been written in the debate over whether or not Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark gets an unfavorable whistle from WNBA referees. Now, we know there has been time and time again that Caitlin Clark has just not been getting.
One particularly alarming sequence displayed Clark absorbing substantial contact with injury potential. The defensive player's actions appeared to warrant flagrant foul consideration, yet officials remained silent. Obvious hand-checking resulting in possession changes also went unacknowledged by the refereeing crew. League administration faces increasing demands to address these mounting concerns. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert possesses the necessary authority to implement modifications improving officiating uniformity across all participants. Current evidence indicates meaningful corrective measures have not yet materialized.
The Caitlin Clark has just not been getting that whistle, bro. And yesterday was a clear indicator of that. It stated this time a sequence during Sunday's game against the Dallas Wings drew the attention of ESPN's WNBA analyst Rebecca Lobo alongside her play-by-play partner Ryan Ruocco. Now, listen to this.
The ball handler, there's a grab, there's a hold, there's another grab. I mean, all of those are fouls. Every single one of them. And here, that's a foul.
The timing proves especially crucial as the league approaches mid-season festivities. Clark's squad confronts multiple demanding opponents in upcoming contests, including battles with Connecticut and New York franchises. These matchups will likely attract heightened attention regarding referee consistency. The forthcoming calendar features consecutive games testing both athletic stamina and officiating reliability. Connecticut presents the initial challenge, followed by New York Liberty encounters both preceding and following All-Star celebrations. Monthly scheduling includes Las Vegas and Chicago matchups, providing additional opportunities to evaluate potential improvements.
That's a foul, and finally they call.
That's a foul, that's a foul, that's a foul. That was the story of of yesterday's game with Caitlin Clark. Now, we know time and time again, bro, we have seen this over and over and over. That is, these WNBA referees downplay and act like they don't see Caitlin Clark getting hacked. Hacking is not part of
These controversies carry implications extending beyond individual contests. Star player treatment affects league reputation and fan investment. When prominent athletes experience inconsistent officiating, competitive balance and audience satisfaction suffer consequences. Current circumstances have generated sufficient attention requiring resolution for continued organizational advancement. Recent game analysis indicates physical defense against Clark frequently surpasses normal boundaries without appropriate penalties. This trend creates environments where opponents might feel emboldened to employ increasingly aggressive strategies. Inconsistent whistle application potentially jeopardizes player welfare and competitive integrity.
Act like they don't see Caitlin Clark getting hacked. Hacking is not part of the game. Fouling is, though, but just unfavorable fouls is crazy, dog. And at this point, it's looking real spooky, man. It's looking real spooky, and I'm sick of it. I'm truly is. If Caitlin says something, she'll probably get fined for it. And I don't know, guys. I don't know what is the next step to take place, but Kathy's going to have to speak out against this. She's going to have to speak out against.
Basketball community responses demonstrate widespread acknowledgement that current officiating requires modification. Analysts, former athletes, and media figures have expressed similar concerns about enforcement disparities between different players. This collective criticism suggests problems transcend isolated games or individual incidents. League leadership confronts critical decisions regarding officiating uniformity moving forward. Present circumstances have created sufficient controversy, making resolution essential for maintaining competitive credibility, whether through enhanced training, personnel modifications, or policy revisions. Some response appears necessary to restore confidence in the officiating system.
She's going to have to speak out against this in some form of fashion about these WNBA referees, because this is definitely getting out of hand. This is definitely ridiculous, man. And real quick too, I want to appreciate you guys for showing a lot of love to the channel, man. I did say I was kind of going to slow up with the amount of uploads. I'm not going to just quit making videos, but I'm going to quit dropping 7 and 8 videos. I'm probably go down like 4 or 5 a day. Maybe even lower than that some days, but I just want to appreciate you guys showing love to the.
Addressing these concerns will likely influence future game management and may impact overall league development. Attention generated by this controversy demonstrates the significance of consistent rule enforcement in professional athletics and consequences. When standards appear to fluctuate between players or circumstances, the professional encounter between Paige Bierkers and Caitlin Clark has renewed conversations about their respective capabilities. While continuous player evaluations remain standard in sports culture, this specific discussion holds particular significance given both athletes' collegiate backgrounds and current professional paths.
And the two teams, the Indiana Fever and the Dallas Wings, did go head-to-head yesterday in a blowout win where the Indiana Fever scored over 100 points on the Dallas Wings. And Paige Bueckers did come out on top in the scoring stat. And this has led to a lot of talk about Paige Bueckers being better than Caitlin Clark, which I think people really just need to knock off. I did see someone point out how they don't think it's a coincidence that people are trying to push this narrative in a season where Caitlin Clark has.
This evaluation presents a fascinating examination of opposing approaches, one resembling precise medical instruments, the other explosive spectacle. Each competitor contributes unique strengths to their respective organizations, though environmental factors substantially affect their present circumstances. Clark seems to enjoy superior teammate support compared to Booker's current situation. Throughout their direct confrontation, Indiana Fever overwhelmed Dallas Wings in a high-scoring contest surpassing 100 points. Booker secured the individual scoring advantage, igniting fresh debates about superiority. Observers suggest this discussion intensifies during Clark's most difficult shooting stretch while managing physical complications,
Where Caitlin Clark has been shooting her worst and has been injured the most. So these were their stat lines. Caitlin Clark came away with 14 points, 13 assists, 5 steals, which I think is such a flex. She shot 33% and she went 28% at the three. Again, these are not ideal stats for Caitlin Clark, but when returning from injury, these are pretty standard. It's just that I think Caitlin Clark has everybody spoiled with like the explosiveness of her returns from previous injuries, but I think we have to give her a little.
Performance analysis reveals contrasting outputs. Clark accumulated 14 points with 13 assists and 5 steals, achieving 33% field goal accuracy and 28% three-point success. These figures represent below-average production for her typical standards, especially considering her rehabilitation circumstances. Prior recoveries from physical setbacks demonstrated more explosive outcomes, establishing unreasonable expectations for sustained exceptional performance. Buckers responded with 21 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists while maintaining exceptional 60% overall shooting and 50% three-point percentage. This performance exemplifies her characteristic effectiveness, though her preceding Chicago appearance featured 25% field goal conversion with numerous free throw attempts. Analysts observe her capacity to secure favorable referee decisions, uncommon for first-year professionals.
But I think we have to give her a little bit of a break because that was almost superhuman, and I think she's just showing that she is immortal. Now, contrasting with those stats, Paige Bueckers came away with 21 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. She shot 60% and 50% from the three. And this is one of those instances where the eye test matters. So Paige has a very solid game. She is known for her efficiency. Although I will say, in the game previous to the Wings playing the Indiana Fever, they played the Chicago.
Professional transition has progressed seamlessly for Bueckers. Her intermediate range shooting appears effortless, effectiveness metrics remain consistently elevated, and long-range precision has improved substantially. Her methodology emphasizes scoring chances while providing sufficient facilitation, though she functions as a primary scorer rather than chief distributor. Shot selection reflects cautious decision-making. Many describe Bueckers as careful, contrasting dramatically with Clark's boundary-pushing approach. Clark regularly attempts high-risk, high-reward actions that often succeed, accepting turnovers as unavoidable results of aggressive facilitation. She addresses errors with identical confidence demonstrated during extended range attempts, continuously pursuing optimal decisions despite potential mistakes.
Game previous to the Wings playing the Indiana Fever, they played the Chicago Sky, and her field goal percentage was 25%. She was just at the free throw line like crazy. And no shade, no hate or anything, but if you are watching these games, you will notice that Paige has a pretty great whistle. As a rookie, to have a veteran whistle is quite an accomplishment in this league. And from what I'm seeing, her acclimation to the pros has been great. Her midi is like butter. She is very efficient generally, and she has developed a.
The primary distinction involves risk acceptance. Clark seeks correct plays regardless of error possibilities, while Bueckers prevents incorrect choices. Championship-level organizations typically demand boundary pushing rather than conservative methods. Postseason achievement and future championship pursuit require calculated gambles. This generates conflicting expectations, claiming rookie designation while simultaneously asserting dominance over established stars. Bueckers possesses enormous potential with developmental time remaining, but present evaluations may be hasty. Both represent outstanding talents without character issues, demonstrating remarkable integrity. Clark's willingness to challenge limits creates attention and influences gameplay progression. Her league entrance introduced rapid-fire, high-speed basketball few organizations previously utilized. By mid-season, she converted Indiana into the league's premier offensive squad, a remarkable institutional transformation.
Pretty solid three-point game. She is a score-first player. She will get you some assists. She is pretty good at some playmaking elements, but she is not a playmaker. She has great shot selection, and this is something that I see a lot of people say, she is just safe. And I found this great video talking about Caitlin Clark and how she is constantly trying to push the envelope, taking really big risks that very often pay off, and even talks about her turnovers.
Say what you want about
Breckers has provided steady professional contributions with adaptation speeds exceeding standard rookie levels. She supplies leadership for Dallas while exhibiting strategic understanding. However, situational elements require acknowledgement. Clark has participated in approximately half as many contests as Breckers, though both missed periods for different reasons. Clark's recovery from multiple injuries appears incomplete, suggesting diminished physical capacity. Despite these constraints, her three-contest return generated substantial influence, particularly during triumphs over Atlanta and Dallas. Wings' defensive failures permitted numerous fast break chances, creating simple transition scoring without modifications.
Say what you want about Caitlin Clark and her turnovers, but she's constantly trying to push the envelope. She is as confident in those turnovers as she is knocking down those 30-foot jumpers from beyond the arc. Caitlin Clark is constantly looking to make the right play, even if it means she makes mistakes along the way. Paige Bueckers plays as if she's constantly trying not to make the wrong play. That's the key difference between the two. And the last time I checked, you're not going to lead your team to the playoffs or in the future lead your team to a title playing it safe. You got to be able to push the envelope. Now I get it, she's a rookie, which is why I initially did.
Organizations struggling defensively frequently depend heavily on individual scorers, explaining Bucker's steady 20-point production. Similar trends appear with Las Vegas, where Aja Wilson bears primary scoring duties due to supporting cast irregularities. Jackie Young occasionally delivers offensive surges, but Chelsea Gray and Kelsey Plum have demonstrated decline, creating unreliable secondary alternatives. Establishing superiority between these athletes demands sophisticated analysis. Buckers deserves acknowledgement as potentially the campaign's premier rookie, exhibiting three-point advancement, polished intermediate range accuracy, and enhanced interior execution. Her foul drawing capabilities reflect established stars like Sabrina Ionescu, utilizing methods common among elite competitors including Brianna Stewart, Brittany Sykes, and NBA MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Be able to push the envelope. Now I get it, she's a rookie, which is why I initially didn't want to have this conversation. But once this narrative started getting pushed, I had some things to say. Is she a rookie or is she better than Caitlin Clark? You can't have it both ways. Paige Bueckers is going to be great and her time will come, but is she better than Caitlin Clark?
In my opinion, this is pretty spot on. Two great players, Paige Bueckers and Caitlin Clark. No off-court issues. Both wonderful human beings. But it's Caitlin Clark's ability to push the envelope that is turning heads and changing the game. When she stepped into the league,
present comparative conversations and counter obstacles due to Clark's prolonged absence. Despite Beaker's evident abilities, her organizational influence, game enhancement, and revolutionary impact don't equal Clark's court presence. Indiana's defensive improvements during Clark's absence confirm institutional progress, but she remains the pace conductor. Clark's rapid-fire, high-volume shooting approach defines her influence, though present shooting difficulties temporarily obscure her capabilities. Her effect on team chemistry, individual player advancement, and comprehensive gameplay philosophy positions her ahead in this evaluation. Beaker's rookie status and league adjustment phase suggest patience remains warranted.
Game. When she stepped into the league, she created a fast-paced, up-tempo style of basketball that not a lot of teams are playing, and at the second half of the season, she ended up turning the Indiana Fever into the #1 offensive team in the league. That is big change. Paige Bueckers has stepped into the league, and she has put down a solid performance. Her acclamation is light years above most rookies, and she is the absolute leader of that Dallas Wings team. And it's very important to take note of the nuances of the situation.
Future advancement will likely establish Bueckers as an elite participant. Her present skill collection already confirms exceptional ability representing different but equally valuable methods toward excellence.